I'm here with Jack Davison of 3Vision at the CTAM OTT event in central London. And Jack, one of the things you were talking about during your presentation was this idea of, well, frankly, feels like everybody getting into the content production business. But I'm wondering, say, somebody like Liberty, who you mentioned in your presentation, when they're getting involved in shows, what's in it for them?
Well, ultimately, the big thing they're after is high quality content, and with such a competitive market nowadays, you're having to get involved early to get that content. Liberty have a few projects going on. The projects are different slightly in their structures, but the Rook and the Feed are two coming up. I think with some of those shows, ultimately, the value they're getting is the value of those content in the first window premiering that they own in the markets they operate in. In some of those projects, they are investing in the project, and if it is in a global sense a success in other markets where they're not involved, then they may profit in the back end in terms of if that show's a success. But the key investment, and I imagine the ROI for them on that project, is the value in each market where Virgin Media owns that show, premieres it, and gets to give it to their customers.
And they're putting quite a bit of money into this. We're talking volumes of, say, $5 million an hour, of which Liberty would put in how much?
I mean, I'm not sure it's public information, but we would estimate kind of therein has got to be at least around 20%. That would be our estimate. So,
and is that sort of a typical participation, whoever it might be putting the cash in?
Well, it depends. All the projects vary greatly. The US partner in a project will probably put in 50 to 60% quite typically. Obviously, there's always exceptions. And then the remainder is a mixture of distributor funded, pre-sales and other co-production partners. And in this case, Liberty's end, kind of, we're estimating it's probably around 20%.
And do they want it to be recognised as a Liberty show, or whatever the brand is they use in a particular market? Because I'm thinking something like Game of Thrones, everybody knows it's on HBO if you're in the industry or not, and you probably even know that if you're watching it on Sky Atlantic in the UK or in Germany. And it's difficult to get these other brands to push through, isn't it?
It is very difficult. I guess also with globalization, it's difficult to have something as an original if someone's in one market and someone's in another. It's too early to say, and I don't know how they're going to brand it. I know the Rook has been released as a trailer in the US on Stars, and it's heavily branded as a Stars show. I imagine when they launch it in the UK, it'll be a Virgin Media, maybe an original. I think they do talk about exclusive box sets that they acquire at the moment, so there's no reason to think they wouldn't extend that to some original. But it's key. I mean, their investment, it's a bold move. They don't normally do this kind of thing. They're very limited in the UK in terms of what they acquire and push to consumers as content rather than services. And so they're going to need to invest significant amounts of money to make this show work.
And it's kind of gone beyond sports now, hasn't it, really? Because that used to be the thing that everybody talked about, and now it's the quality drama that operators and viewers alike are looking for.
Yeah, the fuel and the fire underneath the high-end kind of scripted drama is not dying down in any way.
I wanted to talk briefly about box sets, this concept of basically dropping the entire series of a show on a particular week, or maybe after that first episode has premiered. Who's that working for at the moment?
I mean, kind of data aside, the amount of enhanced kind of services being offered by the broadcast channels, i.e. the box set available on their digital player, or maybe it's stacked in season fully rather than just 5 episodes. The level of that is increasing year on year significantly now. It was the pay TV channels that were doing it first. Now free TV are doing it. We see BBC, Channel 4 all doing it over here in the UK, and then throughout Europe there's more and more. Those numbers are growing, and
Tony Hall, Lord Hall, BBC Director General, crowing about the success of shows like Bodyguard against the Crown, for example.
And I'm not sure the numbers on Bodyguard, but there are certain shows that we've looked at the numbers, and these episodes are getting like over half of their viewing from their on-demand environment pre-linear broadcast when they're being launched before they're going on to the linear channel in the schedule. So it's not edge case at all. It's just significant amounts of viewing that's happening.
Absolutely fascinating. Jack, thanks very much indeed.